my name is Serena, and I'm working on Chapter 26, which is Preview and Review Strategy. That is where you build vocabulary and concepts to support understanding. So what is Preview and the Review Strategy? Well, it's basically when a teacher previews the lesson with a student in their home language, teaches the lesson in English, and then reviews a lesson with the student again in their home language. Now they do this so that the student can really grasp what and the understanding of the lesson. So you can really facilitate content knowledge acquisition because the academic language is being enforced using realia, visuals, and activities. And using this, the student will really be able to understand what the lesson was about and what important points they need to take away from it. So if I were going to do my lesson based on my CCT's classroom right now, they're working on types of precipitation, and I really think this is a great strategy to use. I made a little flip book for it, and there's 4 types of precipitation on this flip book, and it has the vocab in both English and Spanish. So, for example, the first one is rain, and the student can visualize what it looks like and see the vocab word and practice pronouncing it. So the first one in Spanish is lluvia, and keep in mind I'm using Spanish because all ELL students in my classroom are from Spanish-speaking countries. And the second one I'm going to use is snow, and with this one it's nieve, and they can actually feel it as well. It's kind of tactile, it's kind of realia part of the visual as well, so they can kind of touch it and see kind of the texture. Even though we can't physically touch snow in Florida, they can kind of see what it's made of. The next one is sleet, and I cut out a few little squares so that they can kind of see what it's supposed to look like. And in Spanish it's agua nieve. And the last one is hail. And for this one, I also did kind of a textile thing where the students can touch and feel the texture. It's more rough, and so they can really see what hail, this kind of precipitation, is like. And in Spanish, it's granizo. So all 4, they'll practice, they'll see the vocabulary, and they can, sort of feel it as well with the texture, the realia section of it. And you can do lots with this. You could do, for example, realia. You could use food, animals, costumes of the period, music of the period. Visuals, you can use art prints, maps, line drawings. Activities, you could do role playing, illustrating, lesson word walls, reader's theater, anything really. So you can be as creative as you want. So the next step that I would do with this, the first step would be plan and gather the materials, which is what I just did here, and that's where we just go over the key concepts and the materials and the vocab. But the most important thing to remember is during this preview strategy, in the preview part, you are not teaching, you are just explaining in their home language the key concepts and vocabulary. The second part of the strategy is to actually teach the lesson, and there you're going to always refer back to these support materials that you used, whatever they are. So in this case, I would refer back to this. Then finally, you're going to review, and that's the last step, which is you're going to go back, review the concepts and vocabulary, and encourage students to demonstrate their understanding by referring to these support materials so that you can really see if they get the point of the lesson. Then the fourth step would be to provide additional practice, and that's where they can go to a center and practice the key concepts using activities to really in those support materials to help understand what the lesson was about if needed. And then fifth would be to observe the student and take anecdotal notes to see how that strategy is affecting the student in a positive way or negative, but it should be really helping that student grasp the language, English, by using their home language preview and review part of it. So, and the last thing that's really important to remember about this is that this strategy really helps engage students in the lesson, and that's really what you want to do. You really want to motivate students to learn, and this is going to help them because they realize, hey, I can do it. I can really do it. And when you're reviewing, always make sure as a teacher that you make connections, you correct misconceptions, and you engage your students, because this way they'll learn and they'll be more motivated to learn the English language.